Hey everybody, and welcome to a long-awaited Let's Look At. I say long-awaited, at least if you're the kind of person who has followed indie games for the last couple of years, you're probably aware of Nidhogg. This is Let's Look At Nidhogg. Holy shit, I didn't think it would happen. I was not sure that I would be alive when this game actually came out, and I'm being a little facetious, but this is a game that has been in development for quite some time. It won the IGF award, the grand prize, I think, back in 2011 or 2012. So it's kind of like got a Fez or a Monaco-style development cycle, if that makes sense. And, you know, I don't know why these games take forever to come out. I'm not a game developer. I'm assuming there's a lot of work that needed to be done on them. Now that it's out, I am very pleased to say that Nidhogg is well worth the wait. Available on Steam, a borderline must-buy. Borderline between must-buy and maybe must-buy, depending on how you feel about it. But anyway, we're going to get started here. This is basically, it's a two-player fighting game. It's an action fighting game. It's a fighting game unlike any I've played before in my entire life. And there are secondary objectives. It's not just fighting. So I'm going to be playing against the AI, but I do want to say here right off the bat, thank bloody Christ, this is a little bit of an antidote to the, and I mean no disrespect to games like, oh shit, I can get him anyway, I got killed. I'm yellow here, by the way, and the opponent is orange. It's the AI opponent. I should point out that this is an antidote to games like Towerfall and Samurai Gun. Come at me if you dare! I've been killed. In that it not only has local multiplayer, which is excellent, but it also has online multiplayer as well. So what is the object of the game as we are playing Nidhogg here? Basically, the object of the game is not necessarily to skewer your opponent. It's actually, you can picture it like a reverse tug of war. We kind of start in the middle here, and there's multiple maps. Let's throw my sword at him. Come on, yay! That's bad news. Oh, but I got him. There we go. You start in the middle of the map, and your goal is just to get all the way to the other side of the map. Oh, he's gonna make it here. By progressing from screen to screen. So the way that you do this, for the most part, there we go, is by killing your opponent. As you can see, the gameplay, pretty simplistic here, but the simplicity of the game makes it very accessible, but it also betrays a little bit of the underlying strategic depth that comes out after you've played it for, enough time to actually understand what's going on. So what are our mechanics here? Well, we have a number of things that we can do with our swords. Oh, that's bad. But that's good. Oh, I've been stabbed and killed. Okay, so let's talk about this as we get going here. If you just stand still, you kind of enter fencing mode, and I'm using the 360 controller, but you can use the keyboard and mouse as well. Well, in fencing mode, you can kind of like raise and lower your sword, and if your swords are in the same plane, then what happens is that it's blocked, but if they actually move their sword up or down as you're attacking, then it disarms you, and when you don't have a sword, you are basically completely shit out of luck. Although not completely out of luck, because as you can see, you still have a jump kick, and you can also do melee attacks. It's just that melee attacks lose to swords almost the entire time. Now, in addition, come on, oh, okay, that's bad. In addition to the standard just kind of fencing stuff that you can do here. Come on, we can make it to the next screen. Yes, we can, okay. Sometimes it's just best to move past your opponent. In addition to the standard fencing stuff that we have going on here, you can also do some nifty moves, like you can sweep the leg, you can do a low kick like that. That'll knock the enemy onto the ground, and then you'll have a better chance to kill them. I don't know what to do here. Yeah, I thought I could go low underneath him. Oh, you'll have a better, oh, gee, oh, he fist fought me on the ground and ended up beating me, and then he's just gonna run through to the next side. Yeah, you can fist fight as well. You can do a jump kick, which I just did there. Jump kick loses to sword most of the time. But when you're in this, like, tiny area here, you basically just have to fence. Come on, maybe go low. Go low. Oh, that's bad. Come at me, AI opponent. AI is pretty okay most of the time. Although I've had some pretty good runs. I'm kind of getting my ass kicked now as I'm playing and talking simultaneously. I think that's basically it, although additionally you can throw your sword. Now this is actually a pretty good move, especially if it takes the opponent by surprise. But here, obviously, didn't really accomplish all that much for me. Hey, there we go, okay. So there, depending on the map, there's usually 3 or 4 screens after the middle one, and if you get past these, there we go. If you get past these, then you win. And the games, they vary in length. Some of them are, the matches, I should say, vary in length. Some of them are going to be quite long, like this one is so far, maybe like, 5 to 10 minutes if you have like a serious back and forth. And some of them can be quite short if you just win like every sortie that you get yourself. Oh, that was a great throw. I was just about to escape to the other side of the screen. Ah, you made it. Again, sometimes running is in your best interest. What was I gonna say? Sometimes if you just win like every kind of sword fight that you find yourself in, if you're like really outmatching your opponent, then it's a match that'll probably be over pretty quickly. Holy shit, he did exactly the same thing to me again, but now he's got no sword, so I'm in a kind of dominant position. All right, fucker. Let's do this. You can pick up swords on the ground, by the way, after you disarm your opponent. All right, this is the final screen. If I just win this fight, and I will, then we'll be able to win. And when you win, It's really comical. A big worm, like Doom style or Beetlejuice style, comes out and destroys you. That is the way that the single player of Nidhogg works. Now, there's 4 maps, at least from what I have seen in the game so far, including the multiplayer. That was really lucky. I really like the first map that we played. I'm not a huge fan of this map, and the reason is that that first screen is kind of visually confusing, but it's part of the charm as well. On some of these maps, is that they're visually confusing. Like on this one, the clouds kind of obscure you. I'm more concerned about the colors that obscure you. Let's throw the sword, see if we get lucky. We didn't. But I can always go back here and get a sword from one of his, you know, fallen brand here. Oh! I impaled him with a sword in the air. So what's really nice about this, and, you know, I'll talk a little bit more about the maps. Like, half of them I really like, and half of them, not a huge fan, but still enjoy playing them regardless. Just run and we can make it. This is the AI, in this case, not really doing a great job. By the way, if someone starts running away from you, I think it's in your best interest most of the time to just throw your sword and then let the screen kind of carry you away, because then you'll respawn on the other side of them and they'll actually have to go through you. So this is a map that I like a lot. Actually, you know what? 3 out of the 4 maps I like a lot. This is another one that I like, but the last one was the one that I didn't really like. I like this one because it has this like grass that kind of obscures things. Oh, are you kidding me? This is what I really like, these like prolonged sword fights that you get into. Like, we can't really see what's happening, unfortunately. I'm just gonna run away. Okay, survived that. But yeah, when you like actually get one over on the enemy, I think I'm gonna be able to cheese the shit out of him and just run through this. When you get one over on the enemy, and then, okay, this is not a great example of the AI being that good, but that's gonna be an easy win for us. And when you start sword fighting, then maybe you disarm them, but then they disarm you, and then you fist fight for a while. Someone eventually picks up a sword, and maybe they disarm you again, and then, you know, knock the other person to the ground, and then slay them. It feels really good. There's a serious back and forth. And it's a game, and I've talked a little bit about Towerfall Samurai Gun. Obviously, it has more than just superficial similarities to these. It's a melee-focused multiplayer game, but it almost feels a little bit more like Dive Kick in that, or you could almost think of it as like a Super Smash Brothers to a certain extent. Oh, come on, just run, just run. You can think of it as like a Super Smash Brothers to a certain extent in that it's got kind of that same like back and forth style. Oh, he fell down the pit. Get up, get up, get up. Same back and forth style as something like a competitive fighting game like a Street Fighter 4 or Tekken or something like that, Marvel vs. Capcom. But the like learning curve is so small that it's really accessible, and that's really nice. I always love like the back and forth of those kind of games, but it takes, you know, 300 hours to learn how to play at kind of a sufficient level, whereas with this, 5 to 10 minute learning curve, and then you're in. And if you're playing with someone that you're evenly matched with, then it's really, really cool. And what's really nice when you're playing against a human opponent is that dynamic of like, fuck you, but also I love you, if that makes sense. Like, we're having a lot of fun with this, but also I hate you because you've outsmarted me. I'm really getting into the groove versus the AI here. The AI, maybe it's not as good as I had originally let on, but it's still fun to play regardless. This is the most fun of the local multiplayer games, even though this does have online as well. It's the most fun of the big multiplayer games from like the past couple of years that I think is the most fun to play against the AI. That includes, you know, Samurai Gun, Towerfall. Oh, come on. Samurai Gun, Towerfall, and you know, Megabyte Punch or something like that. And that's not to say that any of those games are bad or necessarily even worse than Nidhogg, but it is to say that I'm having an awful lot of fun, even playing the single-player mode of Nidhogg, which is not the, oh, that was really dumb of me, which is not the focus of the game at all. The focus is the multiplayer stuff that's going on. And we'll talk about that, hopefully at length, especially if I can manage to get a matchmaking target, but I am sure that this game is going to see a lot of play on the NLSS, and I'm sure that it's going to see, hopefully, some play on the channel as well. I would love to get involved in some kind of like a Nidhogg tournament in the same way that, you know, we're doing the Speedball League right now. Come on! Oh, punch him to death! Nope. Bad luck. Well, okay, bad play. But we can get through this. So, I've never actually, like, there's no save files. I've never actually completed, like, a whole cycle of Nidhogg. But basically, the computer gets more and more difficult. Let's just throw our swords at this guy until we run out of them. The computer gets more and more difficult. Oh, that was a great play. I was just about to get to the next screen. The computer gets more and more difficult as you go along, and then eventually, I don't know, you win, and you probably get a Steam achievement for it, and I'm not sure what else, but it's satisfying nonetheless. By the way, I should point out, in case it's been unclear so far, only the winner of the battle, like, the last person who died, or the last person who actually killed the enemy, is the person who determines what the dominant direction is. I apologize for that Steam overlay in the bottom right, by the way. You know the drill. So you can't just, like, have a race to see who can get to the edge of the screen faster. You actually do have to get momentum in your favor. by beating an opponent first. So let's do one more run of this. I really like the castle level. That's the level that starts with the chandelier. And I really like the mine level, which is the level we first started on. Okay, just run. And again, it might seem like running is like the bullshit way to win. Not only is it effective, though, but it also creates like a nice give and take. You're not just constantly, you know, getting into sword fights over and over and over. Again, the AI is not necessarily adept at dealing with sprinting. But when you're playing against a human opponent, it's really great because you like sword fight for a while, and then maybe one of you gets disarmed and then makes a break for it, and you're like, oh shit, I've got to act like really fast. So you throw a sword at them, and then you let yourself die, so you spawn on the other side of them, and then maybe they get through, maybe they don't, and then you start moving back in the other direction. It's a game that's like, it's got a lot of back and forth to it, and it's neat in the way that, see, now the AI could sprint here and possibly like really fuck me up. But it's neat that it has that back and forth without resorting to traditional fighting game mechanics that kind of create that. Yeah, see, he's going to sprint. So I'm going to let myself die so I spawn on the other side. That's the tactic I think you should use. But it's neat that it accomplishes that back and forth without actually having things like health bars, which is the way that those are normally accomplished, you know? You're getting pooped on, and then your health bar is really low, but then you come back and you, like, much to your surprise, by the way, if both people die, then it becomes the stalemate again, much like when you first started. Oh, just go. God damn it. Yeah, but then you fight your way back and you take the opponent's health down a little bit, and then all of a sudden, you're back into it, and then that's like a massive comeback. In this, it's actually represented by distance, as opposed to being represented by health, which is a really cool way of doing things, I think. And, you know, it's innovative, and I do think that this is substantially more accessible than your average fighting game, but it still captures a lot of that, the feel of how those games can feel at a high level. I imagine, because I don't play fighting games at a high level. Let's go back and get the sword. Okay, AI doesn't really deal well with throwing swords either, at least not at this level. You know, we can just get through here. Oh, come on! And he actually gets the point for that, which is bullshit, but we'll slay him and move onwards. Yeah, it's really neat, and, you know, in some ways it kind of reminds me less of games like Towerfall, Samurai Gun, and Megabyte Punch or Super Smash Brothers, and more of a game like Dive Kick in the way that it kind of distills the momentum and the give and take of fighting games down to their most basic element. Oh, I was so close to victory there. To actually make them more accessible to a wider audience. So we're going to win this one again. So yeah, I have nothing but positive things to say about Nidhogg single player. Let's talk about the multiplayer, because at this point you're probably sick of me getting eaten by that giant worm. Let's go back to the title screen. So, there's two different things to talk about here, local multiplayer and online multiplayer. So local multiplayer, we're not going to play yet, but I'll probably do a video with Kate in the very near future. Might even be going up today. Local multiplayer has the opportunity for a tournament mode as well, which is really neat. So if you have like 16 people over at your house, you could hold a ye old Nidhogg tournament. That would be really cool. Unfortunately, I don't live in a living situation where that's going to be possible, but for those of you who do, believe you me, I am very jealous. When it comes to online multiplayer, you don't have the access to a tournament mode, but you can set it up for yourself because there is online multiplayer as well as matchmaking. So we might not actually get the opportunity to play because this is still pre-release. I don't know how many people have codes. Let me just use my mouse and we'll click on matchmaking here. Searching for players, one online. That could be me or it could be somebody else. Kate and I played this for like 45 minutes to an hour last night, which was the first night that I got the code. And the online multiplayer, we managed to connect to one another. It worked totally fine. Very little latency. Mind you, take that with a grain of salt because our computers are literally right next to each other and we're on the same internet connection and we could just play local, but I wanted to check out the online. Plus, it's nice for everybody to kind of have their own space, you know? Oh, look who just signed online. Are you going to play Nidhogg against me, Kate? Thank you for doing that for the purposes of this video. That's very nice. So yeah, there's a really, really fun aspect to this multiplayer. And that's that it's oh, good. It is you. Oh, Lord. Hello, Kates. I'm going to ready up here and we'll play Castle. Playing against the AI is satisfying. 360 no scope. She wrote that, not me, just to clarify. Okay, but it's really satisfying to be playing it against a human opponent as opposed to just the AI. Because, they react to the way that you play. I don't think the AI necessarily is crazy strong. Oh, I'm gonna go for it. I don't think the AI is necessarily crazy strong. It's usually pretty serviceable. By the way, when you get them down on the ground and you're both in melee like that, you stab me through the head and then throw your sword at my corpse, huh? But the, obviously human-controlled players are way better at actually, evolving. So if I'm the kind of player who, typically does a jump kick and then on the next life throws my sword, she can she can adapt to that. Oh, shit. And maybe have a better chance to succeed as a result. And see, now she can just run. So I'm going to kill myself by throwing myself off the screen, throw my sword at her, and then kill myself again. And oh, are you kidding me? How did you get through there? This, I'm so glad you signed on, because this is a much better way to show off the actual... Oh, I'm going to get you. Oh, a much better way to show off the actual, like... Yes! The franticness of the multiplayer and the fun of the multiplayer. Than just playing it against your standard AI opponents. Especially because if the person that you're playing against starts to get good at stopping you from just running away. Why would I throw that in that situation? So stupid. Yep. It works really, really well. And this is the first PC game, and this is like where I'm gonna get into some seriously heady praise. This is the first PC game, maybe except for speedrunners, that I think captures that same kind of like casual-ish style console gameplay that you'd get from something like a Mario Kart or a Super Smash Brothers, and does it in such a way that, you know, I could see myself spending 100 hours plus playing this with my... Oh, you do the same move every time, and you still beat me with it. Okay, let's fist... No. You gotta still beat me, to get through there. And it captures it in the same kind of style and with the same kind of charm. Ah, she beat me. It's just a whole lot of fun. I don't need to get in necessarily too, heady of analysis, I think. Nidhogg is a game, people praised it, before it, came out, and everyone was like, what's so special about it? It just looks like a sword fighting game. When you... Are you kidding me? When you play it, you will realize how special it is. Imagine, like, you know when you watch, like Evo or something like that, and everyone's going like, oh, shit, he just did, like, a fucking Hadoken parry, single frame advantage, priority type, you know, it's like that. But you can actually do it, and you don't need to invest 300 hours to make it happen, which is not to say that necessarily there's a lack of strategic depth to Nidhogg. It's just the strategic depth is the players, like, evolving their play styles for the players they're playing against. And that's super cool. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Oh, stab me right through the throat. That's gonna leave a mark. So it really does do a great job of... I mean, normally when you play... A fighting game, and that's what Nidhogg is. Don't let this trick you into thinking like it's an action platformer or something like that. Nope, not gonna get through my impenetrable fortress. This is not like an action platformer, despite the way that it might look. This is a fighting game, even though it doesn't look traditional. She beat me again. She's getting really good. Let's go to the Wilds, which I think is... The one I don't like necessarily is the Clouds. When you and your friend pick up a fighting game, they're like, hey, new Tekken Tag Tournament 2 came out. I've never played Tekken before. You suck really bad. I killed her in the woods there. You might have missed it. You suck really bad at Tekken, and that makes, you know, it... Oh, I should have just gone over top there. That feels pretty bad, right? When you start playing Tekken and you just, like, do low punches at each other and sweep kicks and shit like that. Oh, she's good. She's good. Oh, not on my watch, punk. There we go. But in Nidhogg, it's like, you skip that step of, like, I'm really bad, and it's bad to watch, and we know that this is not high-level gameplay, and it makes it look like you're both very good at what you're doing, and even, like, two low-level players can have very entertaining matches just as a result of the give and take that's... I should have been up there. Just the give and take that's up there. Now, I should mention, you know, in the interest of fairness, there are some negatives that I've experienced when playing Nidhogg so far, but I don't know if those negatives are actually going to make it... Oh, I forgot you had the initiative! I don't know if those negatives are actually going to make it into the final release of the game. As of right now, this is the pre-release version. Online invites only sort of work, and the interface is a little wonky. Oh, shit. She's going to beat me again. Online invites only sort of work, and the interface is a little rudimentary. Jesus Christ, she's good. But matchmaking works totally fine, but the online interface is a little weird. Like, I'm just gonna go back for a second. We'll play one more, just to show people. Like, the way that it works is basically when you're online on Steam, you can see your whole Steam friends list here, and then you would click on somebody, be like, okay, I want to invite Ken Carla to a game, and then you'd wait for them to accept, assuming it works. Online invites, you can go back to matchmaking. Yeah, online invites don't necessarily... They haven't worked for us, really, but hopefully that's something that's cleared up by the time the game actually comes out. Matchmaking is the way that we pair up right now because there's basically nobody online. I expect that will change That was really dumb. I expect that that'll change when the game actually comes out. Now, I am not enough of a Nidhogg expert to necessarily know the like priorities of things, but I am starting to learn some stuff. Like, for example, yeah, yes. For example, if you do like a jump kick into somebody who's just standing still and they have their sword out, you will lose. Ooh, I rolled through that. You will lose 100% of the time. Similarly, if you kind of are able to go above them with the jump kick, you'll actually win. Okay, so see, she's come at me. She's a better player than the AI because she was able to see that I was running away and then counter me effectively. Okay, just run. And that's something that's very important because when you first start playing, and you might have thought this. I like your crab walk. You might have thought this when you were watching me play the AI, but you might have thought running is just like an OP strategy because once someone starts running, there's no way to stop them. Oh, this is not true. If you let yourself die, which seems counterintuitive, you actually can pretty easily, at least put up some kind of resistance to the enemy actually just sprinting away from you. So I'm glad that we were able to get a multiplayer game going and oh, I forgot I didn't kill you. You only get the momentum back if you actually kill the other person. That's something that's very important to keep in mind. Oh. Yes! Okay. Now just get out of here. Okay, there we go. Got some momentum back. Should have picked up that sword though. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Weapon management is obviously something that's of paramount importance. You get a new sword every time. Oh! No! Let yourself die, let yourself die. Okay, here we go. Just gotta... Every time she just jumps over me at the end. What do you say, Kate? We'll do one more? You've won every single game so far. We'll do the mines on this one.
I'm a mine.
Oh, Lord. We've created a monster here. Alright, so I should be focusing more on, like, actually getting kills, I think, because... Oh, that was a pretty good roll. When I don't go for the kills, I think it creates a bit of an issue for myself. So far, so good. Oh, I was this close to making it work. Oh, God. No, you dirty, dirty dog. And this is what I mean when I said, like, this game really channels that dynamic from, like, a Mario Kart of, we're best friends, but I hate you. Oh, Jesus Christ. How do you counter that roll combo? Don't do your crab walk. I can crab walk, too. Hey, the crab walk strategy. 2014, it's gonna work. But when you like play Mario Kart or Super Smash Brothers with somebody who's like substantially better than you, but they're a good friend, you're like, I want you to die, but also let's live together forever. That's exactly how I feel when I play Nidhogg, is that like, it really does a fantastic job of being not frustrating, but like good frustrating. That makes, like, dying is always frustrating, but it's frustrating in a good way, because you're dying to someone who you like, right? And you can laugh about it afterwards, and, if they really beat you, oh, you want to fence me? There is, like, a whole fencing metagame that we don't even take part in, because we just run at each other as quickly as possible. Oh, okay. I just want to win one, please. I forgot what winning feels like. AI is talking. Let's fence, Kate. Let's do some fencing here. Okay. That was my genius strategy, and it's gonna work. Oh, she knocked me down on the ground with a fist fight. Okay, here we go. Final screen. Oh, she is good. My God. Well, that's gonna do it for Let's Look at Nidhogg. I promise I'm not quitting just because I lost every single match, but I'll exit out here. Wait, no, not matchmaking. Go back to the main menu. There we go. Yeah, Nidhogg is really, really good. Again, borderline must buy, especially if you have people that you want to play with. And online multiplayer alleviates basically every concern I have about all these like local multiplayer only games. This one spent a lot of time in the cooker when it came out. Well worth it. Nidhogg is probably going to end up being one of the best multiplayer games of the year, maybe one of the best games of the year overall from what I've played so far, and eminently replayable, an awful lot of fun, and could easily become, I think, a multiplayer classic. I guess a negative that you could offer is that it's only 1v1, but despite that, it's still a whole hell of a lot of fun. I can't recommend Nidhogg enough. It's available on Steam. Go check it out. There's a link in the video description below to pick it up on Steam if you're interested. And of course, as always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to click the like button and also subscribe if you want to see more first impressions like this in the future. It would help me out a great deal. as is right now. I hope you guys have enjoyed this kind of pseudo let's look at pseudo multiplayer video. Again, go check out Nidhogg. It's great. It's gonna get year-end coverage, even though it's only, you know, January 11th or 13th or something like that. In any case, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I will see you next time.